Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. This is going to be a general message for Taurus in mid-March 2020. Hello, Taurus. How are you guys doing? I hope you are doing well. Oh, boy, man. Hi, Taurus. How are you? I don't know why I'm laughing. I guess because I'm kind of getting back into the rhythm of doing these videos. If you're a returning viewer, you may have noticed Jay kind of went on a hiatus here for a little bit on the channel. I was away. Just totally kind of unplugged from tarot about 2 weeks ago, 2.5, 3 weeks ago, something like that. And yeah, just haven't put any content out here on the channel, but I'm back now. I've totally had to restructure everything because, again, I totally unplugged from doing anything with the channel. It was Mercury retrograde. I was going through some spiritual awakenings and leveling up and stuff like that. And it was really intense for me. So I had to take time away from the channel just to keep sense of everything that I was experiencing, and did some journaling, did some self-reflection, did a lot of stuff for myself. So anyway, I'm back now. Welcome if you're returning again. If you're new, welcome as well. I appreciate you all for being here. So what you're going to see here, actually, guys, if you're familiar, I usually do a monthly overview at the start of the month and then a mid around now, but obviously I'm doing the mid now. However, it's in the style that I would normally do the monthly messages. So you see a 6-card spread here for the mid month. That's just for March. We're going to go back to the regular thing in April. But for now, you're going to get a March type of reading with 6 cards versus 4. I will shuffle on camera for the outcome and the overall energy and all that good stuff. But anyway, so hopefully, Taurus, you're doing well. Hopefully Mercury retrograde was kinder to you than it was to me. And if it wasn't, hey, from what I've read, from what I've been hearing, it's been pretty rough out there for everybody. And right now, globally, a lot of us are facing this coronavirus and dealing with it in our own ways, or being quarantined or put on lockdown by officials. I personally have been sent home to work, so I'm going to be working from home until the foreseeable, which is both a blessing and a curse, but I'd rather it be that than having to possibly interact, no offense, interact with a bunch of people at my work, because you never know. You never know what people are doing with their hands and their sinuses and all that good stuff. So not to get too graphic, but let's get into it, Taurus. I have shuffled off camera. Main spread is right there. Going to shuffle on camera now for that outcome and overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that is when the reading begins. Timestamp is in the description box if you want to jump ahead. Information to get a personal reading is also down in the description box. And a new piece to our puzzle of the intro is I am now on Instagram, my friends. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, go ahead and pop on over there. It is EmpathicFire. Tarot, EmpathicFire Tarot, over on Instagram, and you're going to see that appear somewhere around here through the magic of editing. So if you want to follow me on IG, I do daily oracle pulls, give you a little interpretation of what I feel from that card for the day. Have been going strong on that because, I don't want to not use the, or excuse me, not use, but not doing tarot completely is kind of out of my realm of possibilities right now, but doing something massively for the channel. So that's why I started the Instagram in the interim. So enough about me. Let's get into you, Taurus. So let me see Taurus's outcome for almost said February, sorry, mid-March 2020 outcome for Taurus. Let me see, please. And also, Taurus, if you're here while I'm shuffling, I do apologize. I skipped you and a few other signs for that no communications reading. Again, Mercury came in and kind of, put my world on its side, put me on the bench. So eventually I will do no communication readings. And I shouldn't really apologize to Taurus because those aren't necessarily designed for Taurus, but I would imagine many people who are Tauruses would want to see that video. So I should eventually put that out. Just saying. I will. I make a promise. I will. Okay? Anyway, outcome for Taurus, please. There it is. Oh, double? Bottom on the deck is the overall energy. A double outcome? Is that right? because I really am not feeling 2. So let's see if they're going to tell me which one for Taurus. Thank you. I'm going to note that you did have the Hermit come out with your overall, or excuse me, with your outcome. You know what we'll do? We'll put Mr. Hermit right up there. He's a special guest for us. He's just going to stay up there. But I don't know if he's going to be a part of the outcome. We'll see. We'll see. All right, let's see what came face down for you, Taurus. And, okay. All right, let's get into it. Let's see what's going on. Please show me where Taurus is in mid-March 2020. Mid-March 2020, where is Taurus? Please show me. All right, wow. That was a little aggressive. They were very aggressive with, like, I felt kind of shoved to acknowledge this card. So I don't know, maybe you're feeling pushed, maybe you're feeling prodded, but Taurus, coming into mid-March, you come in with the Two of Swords. Inflexibility. Some of you are not open, or if it's not you, it could be someone else. So very quickly off the top, please remember this is a general, so energy can go vice versa. But whoever this card is signaling to, like a lot of inflexibility, a lot of restriction, tight-lipped, might be a period of silence right now going on for this person. You know, they might be keeping to themselves. They might be uninspired, or in some ways afraid or anxious about taking action, or anxious about having a conversation, anxious about reaching out, reluctant to reach out, reluctant to respond. There's just like a total shutdown of communication. There's a shutdown of action. There's a shutdown of thought. Like someone is like really fatigued or overwhelmed by with a subject, with a topic of discussion, with, you know, too much information and information overload. There's a lot of things coming through with this Two of Swords, if I'm honest, if you couldn't tell from all that rambling just now. But there's, you know, what is this? This is some type of bird of prey, like a falcon or a hawk or something like that, and its eyes are shielded, right? And so when you do that to a bird, it can't go anywhere. You know, its natural inclination or its natural ability to fly, to be free, is now hunkered down. It's now anchored. It's like grounded is the word. Thank you. Grounded is the word, but not in the way that we usually use it in the spiritual terminology. Grounded. This is grounded in a way that it's it's really inconvenient, or it's really not serving this person. If it's you, if it's someone else, I don't know just yet. You already know. Hopefully you already know if it resonates, but and this is entrapment is another feeling that I'm getting. Entrapment, restriction, being pulled away from something or kept away from something, or being, you know, a barrier is here with this Two of Swords. A barrier, particularly in relationships between two or more people, in relation to, you know, how you're speaking, or needing to speak to someone and they're not available, or you're not available, or something like that. And there is just this it's either the circumstances are preventing this conversation, or someone is choosing to be silent, choosing to avoid the subject, choosing not to respond, choosing not to initiate a conversation. There's a choice on somebody's part. Yes, I see it. Thank you. There's a choice on somebody's part, consciously or not. They want me to say consciously or not. Someone chooses not to involve themselves or engage in a certain interaction. They choose not to go to a certain place in order to avoid interactions. Now, again, I did mention at the top the corona thing, but I think it's deeper than that. I think that this is before any of that has happened, which is really transpired over the past, 4 or 5 weeks here in the world, right? I think this Two of Swords situation was before that in terms of what you're going through, Taurus. I think that this is a very, in some of your cases, this is a very long stalemate. This is a situation where things that need to be cleared up are not cleared up. Things that need to be rectified are not rectified. Things that need to progress, move on, be let go of, whatever. There's just like a no, no, no. And it's again, consciously or subconsciously, someone is resistant or prevented. Let's say it that way, resisted or prevented. Because sometimes I'm feeling for some of you, it's circumstantial. And I'm feeling family, I'm feeling friends, I'm feeling workplace, not so much love and romance, but if that fits for you, go ahead and apply it. It's very interesting. I did Aries several hours ago, and their energy was something similar, but yours is more demure. Yours is more from a sad place, if I'm honest, or if not a sad place, Taurus, a melancholy place. This energy is not as fiery or as resilient as Aries was. Not to compare you, but I'm just explaining that as for the empath, it's like me, the empathic reader. It's kind of odd that that same feeling is here. Interesting. So what else happens? Please show me. Pardon me. Yeah. This is this. Okay, I see. This is protective. This is a protective thing. This is a protective thing. This is okay. Someone has been put in this position, like I said, due to events way before way before a month or two ago. Like I'm sensing, sometime last year in 2019, in some cases earlier, 18, 17, whatever it is. This is a long time coming, or this has been a long standing point of friction in your life, Taurus. And I feel possibly for some of you, it's finally going to come to a head. Wow. Okay, so what happens next? Okay, so this is you. Yeah. I mean, again, it could be vice versa. So, if it's not you, Taurus, don't get upset. Or cross-watcher, if you know it's not Taurus and you know it's you, totally own it. Queen of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Gemini, excuse me, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Super protective energy. I mean, look at this woman cradling that rabbit. She's super protective, right? This is you standing your ground, protecting what's yours, protecting what's valuable to you, what you love, what you cherish, people, places, your integrity, your morals, whatever it is, and being firm in that. But then also, I'm really today really drawn to the look on the Queen of Pentacles face. She's kind of like caught off guard here, or like there's sort of like an innocence about her, or I hate to use this word, I really do, but like someone who's in distress, but then also being brave in the middle of being distressed or panicked or under pressure, let's say. While under pressure, this person, male or female, doesn't matter, and the sign also doesn't matter that much, it's a general, but push come to shove, high stakes, high anxiety, this person, it's weird. It's like okay, thank you. You sort of stand your ground in a beautiful way. You stand your ground in a way that is sort of authentic or very core to Taurian values, or archetypes rather, archetypes of Taurus, right? So you're ruled by Venus, so that gives you the gentle nature that you're known for. It gives you the passion that you're known for. It gives you the romance and the affinity towards things that are beautiful and luxury and all that kind of stuff, right? That's great. That's that Venusian energy that Taurus has. The other component that I'm feeling coming from this Queen of Pentacles is to be rock solid, thick and brawny and very bold and very much an exhibitor of strength, like a bull would be, right? I don't know about you. I've never met a bull, but if I did, I'd be scared shitless, because that thing could, run me down, hook me up with its horns and really do damage to my body. They're just massive, and they're powerful, and they're just like, like many wild animals, something to behold. If you get if you come into close proximity with one, realize in most cases, especially with a large animal like a bull, you could get yourself hurt if you tussle with it. So that's what it feels like. One hand or one part of your nature is very soft and inviting. It's very romantic. It's all that, right? But then another aspect of you is brute force. And I feel it's like there it is. You shall not be moved. Whoever this is an energy of standing your ground in the vein of, I shall not be moved. I've been pushed far enough. I've been taken advantage of. I've been abused in some cases, maybe. Uh, Enough of that. There's just like a hammer that comes down. There's like a wall that comes down, or a barrier that comes down. Something comes down, and now we're in a deadlock, let's say that, or a standoff, right? And that is anchored back, or excuse me, not anchored back, but signals back to that Two of Swords. Stalemate, standoff. Nothing comes in, nothing goes out. We're in a static, held position, and we're not going to crumble. The Queen of Pentacles is that. Very solid, Pentacles. Reliable, Pentacles. Resourceful, Pentacles. Right? A lot of hard work, effort goes into obtaining Pentacles, not just money. For those who are familiar with tarot, or Pentacles is beyond just money. Like I mentioned sometime earlier, this is about integrity or morals in a situation. And you stick to your guns, you stick to the story, you stick to what you know is right, right? There's no wavering here. As much as I feel there's a softness to the Queen of Pentacles, there's a tenderness here, there's a vulnerability here. Okay, you ever see someone who cries, but they're not sad? Or in that moment, you don't feel sad. Like you can see someone, stoicism, right? Being stoic. That's what's going on here. So this person might be sensitive. They might cry. They might, exude that type of vulnerability, but there's also a strength here. It's very interesting. I feel in most cases, it's going to be Taurus who's embodying that energy. However, again, it is a general reading. It can go the other way. And whatever has caused whoever resonates with the Queen of Pentacles, whatever has taken this person to this point, gotten them there, it's been a long road. It's been a long road. And I feel there's a showdown coming, or I feel that there's something finally unfolding. I feel that there's finally something being set straight, being set right. Justice card right next to the Queen of Pentacles. Major Arcana for Libra. So some of you could be dealing with a Libra, but you don't have to be. And again, another connection between you and Libra, well, not another, but just a general connection between you and Libra is you're both ruled by Venus, right? But more to the point, something is being set right here. Finally. Yes, finally. Whew. I wish you could feel this. This is, the fun part of being an empathic person, or at least the way that I read my cards. As I go through, I get I'm able to feel what this card represents or what it's pertaining to in your story. And I get here and immediately the muscles in my back loosen. Immediately, like my neck, like I'm just like looser. My body feels looser, freer than what it was when I was talking about the Two of Swords. So justice comes into play here. I feel this is probably unfolding for many of you right now. Like you, as soon as you saw this card, even before I talked about it, if you're familiar, you were like, oh, I know what that's about. Many of you are like, I know what this is about. Now, in terms of how that could translate, this could immediately speak to, oh, let me go back here quickly. I'm cutting myself off, but they're like, you forgot to say. Queen of Pentacles, very similar, well, not very similar, but that cradling of the rabbit. This is cradling fertility. This is basically signaling to motherhood, or the aspect of being in charge of young children. So we could be talking about parental issues in your family, in your life. We could be talking about paternity issues in your life, right? Paternity, maternity, it doesn't really matter. We could be talking about something to do with, child care, right? And not down to just the parents. This could be an issue involving childcare, like at a daycare or in a school. And there's something being set right in terms of, for some of you, not all, to do with your children specifically, or a group of children that you are related to, if you're a teacher or a social worker or, an advocate for children, whatever it is. But there's something here about protecting the vulnerable, even though you yourself might be a little vulnerable or sensitive. Now, jumping back to the justice card, apologize about that, but they wanted me to clear that up. So the justice in the situation is coming into play. And I feel as though, as we could digest this, or dissect this rather, and apply it to real life, this could be court cases coming to an end. This could be verdicts coming down, settlements finally cleared up. This could be, for those where it is more of a domestic situation, this could be the finalization of a divorce, finalization of a separation, finalization on child support or alimony. But it's definitely, I feel a severing is going on, where the entanglement that has, again, gone on for months or years is finally being cut. Like something is being cut away from the other thing. One thing goes this way, the other thing goes that way, and there's just like this freedom, maybe not freedom, but there's this, they're just giving me separation. There's finally a separation, and there's a relief, yes, a relief that I was feeling when I first got to this card in my body. So if you've been stressed, if you have felt anxious or overworked or overburdened in some type of way because of what you've been dealing with, Taurus, be prepared to feel unburdened. Be prepared to feel released. Could also be that could be a release. Thank you. If someone has been under some type of house arrest, somebody's been in prison, somebody in some cases has been restricted, maybe outside of domestic issues, or anything to do with children. Maybe some of you have been under contract. Maybe you had to sign an NDA, or there was a confidentiality agreement, and now there's something that allows you to speak or move more freely after years of not being able to speak or move so freely. Yes, right down there. Got it. This is it's a double-edged sword, because I think on one hand, Taurus, you're going to feel great about this. On the other hand, I think you're kind of dismayed about this. Yeah. Yeah. This is about some type of loss. Maybe not a loss, but it's a change. It's a change in the atmosphere, or a change in the dynamic between you and another person, or you within a situation which involves a lot of people. Again, like I'm getting communities and schools, and maybe even in some of your cases, like just neighborhoods or something like that. Something, again, this separation is being let go of. Something or someone has to move on, and it's bittersweet. Because historically, thank you, there was something special there. The lovers. If you were leaving a job, retiring, being fired, being laid off, or whatever it is, you had some type of wonderful connection with you in your workplace. Again, if you were a social worker or an advocate for at-risk youth. Or it doesn't even have to be children. It could be bunnies, like the Queen of Pentacles is literally holding a rabbit. Maybe you are working with rescue animals, or you're working with therapy animals, whatever it is. And now maybe you have to leave that work. Maybe funding was lost, or maybe, whatever the reason is. So this Lovers in reverse, I'll show you this card up right just so you can kind of get a better look at the artwork. But in the reverse, I feel as though there's a disconnect between you and something that you thought was very significant. Could be a person, could be one individual. It could be, again, in a community setting or a work setting, it could be saying goodbye to your colleagues. It's bittersweet because you and or the other party or other parties involved, someone here knows this is for the best. I really don't feel the restriction as in someone wants to stay and someone wants to kind of hold on. I'm not feeling that type of restriction. I'm feeling a restriction that says, well, I don't know what to do next. Yeah, okay, that's where that is. Got it. Thank you. So the Lovers in reverse, major arcana for Gemini, so you could be dealing with a Gemini, but you don't have to be. In many of your cases, this was like a soul contract, which I don't usually talk about too much on my channel, especially not in public. It comes up more often in private readings. But this feels like a soul contract for many of you. And for me, a soul contract kind of conflates with karmic debts. And I feel as though some of you are, or someone in the dynamic doesn't want to, maybe doesn't want to, but hasn't really conceived of it as a temporary thing. Because when we think about contracts, many of us think of, it being a long-term thing, which this may have been. But when you're talking about partnerships, family, lovers, friendships, whatever it is, we often think long-term equals for life. It doesn't, right? It doesn't. Long-term means long-term. So there's someone in this dynamic, could be you, could be the other person, but and I don't even think this is all Tauruses. There's no way it could be that way, but there's a strain in this energy that I'm feeling that says, I don't know what to do next because I thought this was forever, right? And that could still apply to, your workplace, all right? But if this is friendship, if this is family, if this is a partner, a romantic partner, there's someone who says, I thought this was forever and I don't know what to do now that it's gone. And I can sympathize with that. I totally get it. I've been down that road several times myself. So, but for that strain of people, I think some are thinking, like I said, in that terminology or in that vein of a soul contract or a karmic debt, or just having just a significant bond with a person. That's not all it takes to remain in someone's life. If I'm honest, I I've been down that road before where I thought, yeah, this will be something significant that'll last forever. Little insight into Jay's life. I was engaged at one point in time, thought that was going to be forever. Nope, was not. But it did not take away from that being a soul contract or some type of significant bond that I had with that person. So there's something here where someone, thank you, is having problems reconciling how significant the connection was, whether it be with an individual, a group of people, a job. Someone is not able to really see just yet, not yet, they will see eventually, but they're not able to see just yet that just because it's a long-term contract or something that has been going on for the past 5 years of your life, whether it was actually contractual agreements or marriages or business partnerships, whatever, if it was just something casually that went unspoken, regardless of the context or the specificities of it, right? Someone is not able to see that losing this connection is exactly the terms or exactly the way the contract was supposed to transpire, right? That was the exact trajectory that was necessary. And that's hard for, especially a Taurus, fixed sign energy, so I get it. Fellow fixed sign here, hello. That totally doesn't drive with a fixed sign, because I get the sense, Taurus, the details of it, or certain instances in whatever's being ushered out of your life, right? It didn't have to go that way, or didn't have to transpire in that exact way. According to the soul contract, according to the karmic debt, according to the powers that be that have nothing to do with, my capabilities here, right? That actually was the way. And someone is not able to see it that way. They might not ever. We've got the Two of Swords right above the Eight of Swords, so that's kind of two places of blindness. It could be you, Taurus. It could be the other person. Take it with a grain of salt, of course. But there is this someone mentally, logically, maybe that more than mentally, logically, has not yet come to terms with the way this situation or relationship is ending, is being taken out of their lives, is being freed from their lives, is being severed from their lives, right? If we go back to the Justice card, and again, just the concept of that being a just end. If someone ends up having to pay a fine or lose their job, or, go through a divorce, and they didn't want to go through a divorce, maybe their partner did, right? I don't know which side you're on, take your pick. For the person who feels like they're quote unquote losing, it's very hard to tell someone, well, you're actually winning, or you're actually in a better spot. They are not able to necessarily agree with that just yet. If they ever will, I don't know. But this Eight of Swords is someone who, like, look at the knotting of rope that's beneath this floating head. Like, that's a signal of confusion. That's a signal of being sort of consumed in your own mental space, right? Constantly running over, what happened in the past, what was said, what was done, how it made you feel, how it made them feel, the mistakes you think you made, the things that you could have done better, the things that you would do again just to prove a point, all that kind of stuff. That doesn't really get you anywhere. It's not productive for the future. The Eight of Swords is not a card that is interested or signals to us that we're looking towards the future. This is thinking and stewing in the present over things that have happened in the past. And that, like I said earlier, with the Two of Swords above it, is either conscious or subconscious, and it's a choice. It's a choice to really bring it down to the baseline. That is a choice. Because the reality that's going on around this whole scenario, Taurus, is it doesn't matter. The powers that be have spoken, Justice card. The powers that be through the soul contract with the Lovers in reverse have spoken. This situation, this relationship, this tie, this bond is over. And not necessarily forgotten, not necessarily not respected or given its due. There was purpose here, but someone is not able to see the purpose just yet, because again, long-term equaled to them was equated to forever, or long-term meant till the day I die, to the day they die, or whatever it is, some other time than right now. I didn't expect this to end so soon. I didn't expect you or them or whoever to walk away from this. I didn't expect, in some cases, to be free of this, because it's very interesting. This is an interesting reading, energetically speaking. I think it's pretty plain to see if you know what the tarot is all about. But energetically, it's very interesting. Now, Final card in the main spread. A lot of majors. Let's go. Let's also note that you've got 3 majors here. You've got a whole bunch over here on this side. So this definitely is divinely orchestrated. So your final card though is the Chariot. So major arcana for Cancer. You could be dealing with a Cancer, but you don't have to be. There's the progress. There's the movement. There's the, green light to get out. The green light to move on. And it's right below Justice. So I think, again, whether this is a court of law, whether this is, freedom from a gag order or an NDA, if this is someone who is being let go of from a job, or, you're retiring. Some of you could just be retiring from your job where you've been a social worker, where you've been an advocate, where you've been an activist, or in terms of Queen of Pentacles, maybe you were an investor, but you were philanthropic towards children, whatever it is. It doesn't, your job doesn't have to be corely in such a in such a service caretaking, nurturing line of work. You could have been, a cutthroat Wall Street type person, but you had a soft spot for vulnerable populations. But whatever, being let go of, quote unquote, or set free from, or retiring from possible work for those that it applies to, it sets you free in a way that you may not expect. I know a lot of people plan for retirement, then it comes and you start to live that life, and it's like, I gotta have a lot more free time on my hands than I know what to do with. Or more to the point with the Chariot, you need to find, speaking to those where this is about retirement or leaving a job, you have to find a new passion. You have to find a new, beyond a goal, I get purpose. Thank you. You have to find another purpose for yourself, especially if you're one of those people that threw yourself into work, that really dedicated yourself to whatever your profession was. And now that you don't have that profession, you've taught in the public school system for 30 years, 40 years, whatever it may be. And now that you're done with that, what now is my purpose? A lot of people in their jobs, in their professions, they become very aligned with that role, and it becomes a part of their identity. I am a teacher. I am a doctor. I am a civil engineer. I am, a restaurateur. I own my own businesses, whatever it is. You become attached to that namesake or that, again, that profession, that title. Thank you, that title. I feel someone here might have a little bit of a crisis as to who you are now that you don't perform those duties, right? Could also apply in your domestic space. Now that I'm not anybody's wife, what do I do? How do I call myself? How do I introduce myself to people? Oh, I'm Bob's wife. Nope, not Bob's wife anymore. So there's something here that is encouraging whoever is having this crisis of character, or this feeling that their path has now gone completely to the left, maybe even been derailed, right? There is a need, there's a call to action with the Chariot to re-envision yourself, or to get re-established in your identity, in your purpose. Because you can still be a teacher in informal capacities, right? You can still be a teacher after 30, 40 years of being paid to be one. You can go and teach, quote unquote, for free, or help people who need your skills, your resources, your knowledge, by this is just an example, by volunteering at a local library, starting a literacy club, helping people who speak a foreign language than the language that's spoken in your country. Help them learn the language, become a conversation partner. That's very, very necessary for many people in this world. Just having casual conversations with a native speaker, that is a way to help someone. And and sometimes you can get paid. A lot of those gigs are actually online. People just want a conversation partner via Skype or whatever it is, so they can be better equipped in whatever language they're learning, right? If you've taught English, for an example, for X amount of years and you're proficient in it, go ahead and hop on the internet. Students from China, students from Brazil, students from Ecuador, wherever it is, who need help becoming more conversationally comfortable in the language. You're teaching, you're helping, you're just doing it in a different capacity. Someone here doesn't know how to apply themselves to the skills and the abilities that they have and the identity that they've held on to. They don't know how to shift it into another lane. They haven't gotten to that point yet. You'll get there, whoever that's for. Because for some Tauruses, it's totally you. For others, it's a cross watcher or some other person that you're dealing with. Yeah. So the outcome for mid-March is all these majors. The Emperor, major arcana for Aries. So some of you could be dealing with an Aries, but you don't have to be. So yes, after we acknowledge the loss, or if it's not a total loss, it's some type of transition. Let's just, in some cases, the Lovers in reverse and the Chariot combined with that Eight of Swords is about transition, right? But whatever form it takes in your life, loss or transition, we get to this point with the outcome of ownership. The Emperor definitely has a plan for the future, definitely has goals, definitely has some vision of themselves and the people that they know and care about and what they want to make out of life. Like I said, some of you could be retiring or, again, shifting lanes, or now that you've left one profession and maybe you want to go into a completely new industry. This energy with the Emperor is going to be very helpful for whoever's doing that, right? I get the sense that this is revitalized energy. It's more dynamic. It's more fiery. It's more determined and confident. So if you have been in a lull, if you've been in a moment of, I don't know what to do next, I don't know. Yes, I see it. Thank you. That's why. Mr. Hermit. So remember, this guy came out together. If you've been in a lull, like I said, if you've been in this time where you didn't know exactly what to do, the Hermit was helping you. And I'm really speaking in terms where I think like a lot of this is wrapping up for many Tauruses right now. Hermit is major arcana for Virgo. You could be dealing with a Virgo, but you don't have to be. So combined, you've had a deep dive with the Hermit card that has led you out the other side and turned you into, really graduated you to the level of the Emperor. Whoever has had the struggle, whoever has had the crisis of what do I do next, how do I survive, who am I going to be, what am I going to be, all those questions that might have been circulating with the Eight of Swords, right? There's resiliency that comes out the other end with the Emperor, thanks to the shepherding of the Hermit. I didn't really do a lot of justice with the Hermit because I think that, again, is sort of like the undertone or the backstory. The bigger part is the Emperor as the outcome. We have a what do you call that? A reinstitution of somebody who knows who they are, knows what they want, and feels very capable, feels very on a solid path going forward. Very confident, firm steps forward with the Emperor. This is a very interesting reading because I have to tell you, when I started with that Two of Swords, I felt really uneasy. And the more I've progressed, I've felt so much lighter and so much more relaxed. It's great. So if you were stressed, prepare to be de-stressed, okay? Overall energy for you, Taurus, in mid-March is the Strength card. Major arcana for Leo. Could be dealing with a Leo, but you don't have to be. And there we go. That's kind of what I was talking about. In times of, trouble, in times of stress and strain, not Leo, but the card of strength is standing up to that adversity, is meeting those problems head on, is wrestling with the demons that are inside of you. If this was an issue of confidence, if this was, like I said, an issue of, I don't know how to take my role as a teacher, as a lawyer, as a wife, as a husband, and now that I'm not that anymore, who am I really? That could have been a personal struggle, especially now that I've acknowledged and put into play the Hermit card over here, right? So the Strength card overall in your reading, number one, you should, I don't have to tell you, Taurus, you are a strong character. You are a strong individual. And so maybe this is the first time that that aspect of you has been tested. Because again, I do get the sense of someone here, it could be you or it could be someone else, really was locked into this idea of, this is my forever ticket, this is my forever path. And the universe, the powers that be, God, Buddha, Jehovah, whatever you believe in or don't believe in, has said, no, actually, you're going to switch from that lane to this lane at approximately this time in your life. And that was not what you thought was going to happen. And so the strength in you, the resiliency in you, stepped up and helped you through this moment. Now, that could have been your own doing. That could have been through the help of a good friend, Leo or not. It doesn't matter what the sign of the person is if you were helped by someone else. But and the reason I say that is because there are two figures on the card. You've got the lion there, and you've got the young girl perched right next to the lion. So sometimes the Strength card can talk about outside help, or having to, like I said before, about that not that duality, but those two aspects of the Queen of Pentacles, those two aspects of Taurus. One part of you is very gentle, the other part of you is a little bit more solid and firm and sort of ferocious, right? And having to blend those two together, that could have been you and another person. You could have been very soft and demure, or kind of, like I said, a little vulnerable, and you could have had a friend who comes over to your house, once a week to check up on you because you've been kind of in your feelings, right? And they could be, knocking on your door. Hey, Taurus, I'm here with that tough love. You know what I mean? So altogether, beautiful reading, I'd say. And I don't think I'm telling whoever this is going to resonate with, I don't think I'm telling you anything you didn't know. No secrets are coming out here. There's nothing here that you haven't been aware of. I think it's just giving you confirmation. Or there you go. For those who maybe you're maybe in the middle of this, it's going to work out okay. It's going to work out okay. And if you're that person who feels like, oh, I'm on the losing end of this, try your best to change your thought around about that. Even if, like, you might tell me, Jay, I'm losing thousands of dollars because of alimony, or, I got hit with a lawsuit, and whatever it is. There's a silver lining in there somewhere. I don't know what it is, but I can energetically feel that. Okay? Taurus, that is your reading for mid-March. If you liked it, the like button is down below. Make sure you hit that for me. Please leave a comment if this has resonated with you. I'd love to see how that unfolds in your life, or how it's applying in your life. If you want to share here on the internet, please do. If you want to share the video and let other people know that you like my stuff, please do. That is very amazing. And if you have not subscribed, my friend, please go ahead and subscribe. Guess what? That would also be amazing. Taurus, I'll be back very soon with the April readings. And then in April, that's the beginning of your season in late April. So you got your April readings coming up. You got your mid-Aprils after that. It will be your birthday season, so you're going to get a birthday reading. And then sometime later in the middle of May, open your calendars. I will go live on the channel and do a live reading for Taurus during Taurus season. So be on the lookout for that, okay? And remember, guys, if you want to follow me on Instagram, that information is at EmpathicFire Tarot. Go ahead and jump over there and give me a follow. And I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.